Mohammad Sadiq may never regain his vision in one of his eyes. He says he was hit by pellets fired by an Indian soldier right after he stepped out of his local mosque.
Everything was normal. There were no protests. Security forces chased us away and fired pellets at us. One more person older than me was also injured. He was discharged from hospital yesterday.
Mohammad accuses security forces in Indian-administered Kashmir of targeting Kashmiris. He shows us his back with scars of what he says are pellet injuries. Earlier this month, thousands here defied restrictions imposed by the authorities and protested against the Indian government's decision to revoke Kashmir's autonomy. This 17-year-old was one of them.
We had no intentions to pelt stones, but the police attacked us, and several boys were injured, including me. I was hit on the right side of my body by pellets.
Even though Indian-administered Kashmir has been under lockdown for nearly 2 weeks, people have come out in protest. In some cases, the government has responded with force, even admitting that a few people have been injured in the recent crisis. Desh Ratan Nigam is a member of the biggest Hindu group in India that supports the governing party. He says the government has used minimal force during the last 2 weeks.
If you have an option to fire real bullets and if you have to fire pellet guns, and then obviously you will choose the latter. And the Supreme Court of India was very clear that in order to control law and order situation, you must use minimum force in the first instance and then use the extreme forces.
Analyst Ajay Gudavarti disagrees.
Now the question is that does use of pellet guns, blinding of children, blinding of women, is it a justifiable self-defense by the armed forces against stone pelt?
In 2016, the Indian government said it would replace pellet guns with a less lethal weapon. But on the ground, in Indian-administered Kashmir, security forces are still using them against those protesting over New Delhi's decision to revoke Kashmir's autonomy. The fear is that if the protests continue in the coming days or months, so will the pellet injuries.